Let there be light. And there was light. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of the light. Don't panic. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Oh dear. Oh, that's nice. Ooh. Oh, thank you so much. Isn't that lovely? Hi everybody. Yes, we are back. But why are you so shy? Why are you over there? Come on. Come closer. Don't be afraid. We don't bite much. Hi everybody, yes, we are back. Did you miss us? We've been away from here. We haven't done a live stream for 3 weeks. It might be the longest time that we've been away from you without doing anything live. I can't actually believe it, but we are back. And there he is as well, Mr. Steve.
Hello everyone, yes, we are back. Last week was a disaster.
It was. We had a few problems. The internet. There is a problem with the internet here. We've been trying to sort it out. It might even go wrong today.
No, it won't, Mr. Duncan. Don't say that. It's fine. We had somebody round. We had an engineer round on Monday. They fixed it. It's been okay this week, so we will keep an eye on it, but hopefully you will stay with us for the full hour and there will be no hitches whatsoever.
No hitches. Hitch. A hitch is a problem.
Talking of hitching up.
Wait there, Steve.
Yes.
Don't move too quickly. A hitch is a problem. Maybe there is a problem. Or if you attach one thing to another, you attach two things together. So maybe if a couple of people who are really, really foolish and slightly insane decide that they want to spend the rest of their lives together, they might get hitched, you see? But who would do that? Who would decide to do that? I think only crazy people would get married when you think about it. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I mean, I suppose if you've been with somebody for a long, long period of time, many, many years, maybe 34 years is just a random figure I'm picking out of the air, Mr. Duncan, then you might decide to formalise that arrangement for legal purposes.
I have no idea.
And nothing whatsoever to do with love or anything like that.
Yes, quite often people get married for various reasons. I would say that people get married most of all because they want to have some sort of partnership and they want to make it secure, I would say. So maybe in some cases people get married because they want to spend the rest of their lives with their loved one.
By the way, it looks like it's Palmyra's birthday today.
Is it really?
Well, Palmyra says she's 1 year older today. That normally signifies a birthday.
Yes. You have made it. You have made it once more around the sun.
I think so. Beatrice is congratulating Palmyra, and so is Maria. So lots of other people. So let's take it. It is indeed your birthday today. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Palmyra. I hope you have a super duper birthday. It was my birthday a few days ago. Did you see the video message that we broadcast? We didn't do it live, unfortunately, because the place we went away to celebrate my birthday was in the middle of nowhere. We are going to take a look at that in a few moments. We have lots of things to talk about. We are talking about worry. Now, if there is one person that I know in this life who worries a lot, it has to be Mr. Steve. I would say between the two of us, Steve worries more than I do. However, I do have my I'm just about to get to that, Steve. I have my moments, of course, where I worry, but Steve constantly worries, whereas I will worry sometimes, but when I do, I normally get myself into quite a state.
So we're talking about worry, are we, Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
Worry. I don't worry. I mean, if you looked at my nails, they would tell you, oh dear, they're bitten down to the quick.
Yes, so Steve bites his nails.
No, I don't.
That is one. Well, you've just told me you do. How strange. My phone isn't working today. There is always something that goes wrong. I don't know what is happening, but I'm trying to read the live chat and it keeps shutting down.
I will have to tell you all about the live chat, Mr. Duncan.
It's working.
I have control.
Yes, you wish. This is the live chat that you can join in on right now. Yes, we are live. For those wondering, we are now live as live can be. And the reason why we do this is because we love the English language. I like English. Mr. Steve likes speaking English, and I have a feeling that you like doing that as well. So that's the reason why we are here today. We did something very adventurous whilst we were away. We did a few adventurous things, in fact. One of them, of course, was tying the knot. The other one was something that we haven't done for nearly 4 years. Would you like to see what we were doing? Well, I'm going to show you anyway. We decided to do something very exciting and adventurous. And this is what we did. I don't know how clear the sound is going to be on here, but we are now cycling around Lake Vyrnwy. I'm on a bicycle, and to be honest, I haven't been on a bicycle for quite a while. In fact, maybe 4 years since I rode a bike. But I have to say, I'm doing quite well. Mr. Steve is just behind me, riding his bike. I think he's okay. Both of us have managed not to fall off yet, so we're okay. We are enjoying ourselves. Poor Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve's fallen off his bike. That's not very nice. Did you fall off your bike then?
Not really. I didn't really fall off.
It sounded like you did to me. Very careless.
Well, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it, Mr. Duncan? Going on the bike, cycling around the lake.
Yes, it was interesting. I did get halfway around the lake, and I did think that maybe I wasn't going to be able to make it all the way because my legs suddenly decided to hurt quite a lot. But we made it, and here we are right now to tell the tale, I suppose. Who was first on today's live chat? By the way, we had someone new as the first person on the live chat. Dimitros. Hello, Dimitros. I don't know if you've ever been first on the live chat before, But guess what? Today you were. So congratulations. Dimitros was first today. Who else is on today, Steve?
Lots of people, Mr. Duncan. Lots of people. Let's have a look. We've got Palmyra. We've got Ebru.
We've got
Vitas.
Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you here.
Valentin.
You were second today.
Tien, who says hi. And also, Tien said earlier on, or not so long ago, that they are going to buy or have been going out to buy some damson jam.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I make damson jam. So if you were here, I could give you some because I've still got some left from last year. I made 36 pots of damson jam last year. And we've still got some left. In fact, the damsons on our tree are nearly ready to be picked, and it won't be long. It's always around September time that I make the damson jam, so I will be making some more. And there is a video of us making that, or me making it, so maybe you can have a look at that. But yes, what a shame. I could have sent you some.
Good.
But never mind. Yes, we've got lots of people on today.
We also have...
Lewis is here.
Hello. Can I say hello to Luis Mendez? He's here today. Did you miss us? Because we haven't been with you live for 3 weeks. We've had so many things going on in our lives. And you know what life is like sometimes. Life is full of new things to think about, and also new things to worry about. And that is what we are talking about today, worrying. Are you a person who worries a lot about things? Are you a person who often thinks about things too much? Talking of bikes, we are also talking about cycling if we have time. Do you like cycling? And is cycling popular where you are? Because a lot of people in this country are taking up cycling.
Well, we know somebody that loves cycling, but they're not on at the moment. That's Christina.
Okay.
Christina loves cycling. She cycles all over the world. Well, certainly in Italy.
Yes.
So hopefully we will see Christina, and she can tell us all about her latest adventures. I think she's on holiday at the moment, but maybe she's taken her bike with her, and she will be out and about and sending us pictures.
So we are talking about later on. We are talking all about that particular subject. However, at the moment we are looking at today's subject. It is a short live stream. We are looking at worry. People worry quite often, Mr. Steve. There are many things in the world that people worry about. Maybe something that is on your mind, something that you are concerned about, might make you worried. So when we talk about worry, we can express it as a noun or a verb. The feeling of deep concern, Mr. Steve. You have deep concern about something. Or, of course, you can make a person worried. You can cause concern, or maybe something will cause you concern or worry. So I think it is fair to say that most people worry at some point about something, especially during certain parts of your life. So maybe there is something coming up that you are a little worried about. So the feeling of deep concern, or of course you can cause concern, to have worry or to feel worry or to be worried or to worry another person. You are making them feel worried by the things you are saying. I didn't mean to cause you any worry. I constantly worry about the future. So you can see that we are using those in different ways. First of all, as a noun, and secondly, as a verb. So you can have worry, or you can worry as a verb. So there are different ways of expressing that. A certain thing can be a worry, a perceived problem. So when we talk about a perceived problem, it can be anything really, can't it?
Yes, a lot of people are worrying about climate change at the moment. In fact, reporters often go out and ask people in the streets, are you worrying about climate change? And a lot of people say they are. But then we don't know all the full facts, and sometimes I think in life you have to try and, I mean, I'm saying this, but I'm very poor at it. And people often say, what's the point of worrying about something that you can't do anything about? Climate change being a case in point. We're worrying about it. We're constantly being bombarded on the news about boiling temperatures and this, that, and the other. But can we as individuals actually do anything? Probably not. I mean, I can't do anything personally.
We're not talking about global warming, though. We're talking about worry.
I know, but that's what I'm talking about. People worry about. I'm talking about worrying about things that you can't actually control.
Yes.
And that is one of them. Because you could argue that if every individual does something, then it will make a difference. But we don't know what to do, and we don't know how to do it. But you can't worry about things you can't control.
No. So worry can be something that is needless. You might say that a person worries needlessly. They worry, but you don't have to worry about it. A certain thing can be a worry. As I said, a perceived problem. The rising crime rate is a worry. So something that is of concern to many people can be described as a worry.
The thing about worry is it is a natural part of our behaviour because it enables us to foresee problems that could, I mean, if you go back 1,000 years or something, it enables us to look at something or imagine what could be a problem if we don't do something to prevent it. So it's a survival mechanism, really. Worry is a survival mechanism.
Well, I notice this with the birds. The birds are always in a state of worry. They always seem as if they are about to have a nervous breakdown.
And of course,
because of all the predators around.
And of course, for them, it's very real. That's a very real problem. They could get eaten at any moment. Whereas for most of us human beings at the top of the food chain, we don't have to worry about being eaten by animals unless you're going out into the wild. We worry about lots and lots of things that don't necessarily have an impact on us, or maybe we think about something that might happen, but the chances are very low, and we're always taking action to try and protect ourselves.
Yes. I suppose one is old age, so getting older. So a lot of people worry about getting older because they don't want to get older, and there are various reasons why they would worry about that. Maybe they don't want to become unwell or unfit, or maybe they don't want their looks, their beauty to disappear, or maybe they just want to live forever and they worry about not living forever. But sometimes there are things that you needn't worry about. A certain thing can be a worry.
That's when a worry can become a problem. It's okay to think about what might go wrong in a certain situation, like you're planning to go on holiday, and you might think, oh, well, I've got to make sure I switch the water off in the house in case there's a burst pipe when I'm away. I want to think about getting insurance when I go away, because if something happens, how will I pay for repairs or medical? Those things are things that you need to think about.
Yes.
And they're things you can take action on. Worry becomes a problem when you're worrying about things that you can't switch it off, which is something which we all get from time to time.
Yes. So there are things that you should be worried about, but for most of the time we do tend to worry about things that are not important. A concerning thing is worrying. For example, in this sentence, there is a worrying rise in the number of jobless people. So maybe unemployment is rising. Maybe more people are without work. So it is a concern. It is something that is worrying. So that thing is being described as worrying. Maybe you are worrying about something. I can't stop worrying about the job interview. And that's what I mentioned a few moments ago. There are things in life, Steve, that we might have to face. in the future that are genuine concerns or genuine worries? And I'm sure you could name at least one straight away.
Yes, that's it. So, I mean, this is perfectly natural. It prepares us for some upcoming event, like the job interview. You worry about the job interview. So, what will happen? Will I say the right thing? So what you do is you go away and you prepare for that job interview as much as possible. And then, hopefully, when you go in, you are well prepared and it will go well. You might worry about having to do a performance somewhere. I always worry when I have to do a play or sing a song. I always worry about it. Have I practiced enough? What happens? Will I hit that high note?
Well, maybe
will I forget the words?
One of the most avoidable things that people do try to avoid doing is to stand up and perform in front of other people. So you might be worried about that. Anything that puts pressure on you, anything that puts you under pressure, will quite often cause worry. You are worrying about something. For example, the job interview. There might be a job interview that you have to go to. You can't stop worrying about it.
It's all got its root in something. So if you worry about performing in front of lots of people, so why are you worrying? Well, the reason is because you don't want to look a fool. You don't want to forget your words. You don't want to look at, everybody's going to say, oh, they didn't do very well. They're going to tell everybody. So you're worrying about, a lot of worry comes down to people worrying about what other people think of them.
Oh.
And I think, it's like what you wear when you go out, what you say in public. A lot of worry comes down to worrying about how you will be perceived.
So we call this social anxiety. So I think everyone suffers from a certain amount of social anxiety when you are out in public. Maybe you feel self-conscious. Maybe you are having a bad hair day. It isn't something we suffer from, but you might be self-conscious about something about yourself that you feel self-conscious of, and that can cause you worry. Social anxiety is a very common type of worry.
So here we go. Yes. So Christina says that if you're worrying too much, that can lead to anxiety. So it's fine to worry about something if it helps you prepare to protect yourself or prepare for something. But then if you don't stop that worry and you keep going on and on and on, then it can turn into anxiety, and then you start worrying about anything.
Yes. And this is why you have to make sure you control it, because it just continues and it grows as well. So worry can be a bad thing. To worry, to feel anxious, to agonize. I love that one. That's a very strong word, agonize. If you worry over something, you agonize, because you might say that worry is painful. It can cause a type of pain. You are almost going through a painful experience whilst worrying. To be in torment. These are really powerful words. To feel anguish, dread, and trepidation. So all of these things relate to something maybe that is happening or will happen in the future. So worry is something that is quite common, because there are so many things around that we can feel worried about, even though most of them we needn't.
Claudia says that she's worrying about money, because here in Argentina we are all worried about it, because obviously we've seen it in the news. Inflation is going up.
Yes.
So that is something real and is something to be concerned and worried about, because you don't know how far is the inflation going to go? How much are prices going to go up? Will I have enough money to pay for my bills? That is a genuine worry. That is a threat to your way of life, and maybe causing some stress and anxiety.
By the way, Claudia, I saw the photograph that you took of the 2,000 pesos. 2,000 peso note. Apparently this is a new note that they've just printed in Argentina because of inflation. So you always know that things are bad if new money or higher denominations or values of money have to be printed. So we did notice that, but our thoughts are with you. And of course we have also Beatrice as well, also living in that same situation.
Marcia as well. I want to say thank you to Franco Ferrari, what a lovely name, for congratulating us on our partnership.
Isn't that nice?
So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate you recognising that on the live stream.
We did post a video announcing it, and the nice thing is we only got the same amount of hate as we normally do. So that's great, really. So I am pleased that we only got the same amount of abuse and hate as we normally do. So that's quite good, really, when you think about it, Steve.
I think everyone's always worrying about something that... I mean, I am a worrier. I've always been a worrier. I worry about everything.
You take after your late mum.
Yes. So I'm always seeing in any situation what could go wrong, which I think that is a positive because it can prevent things going wrong, can prevent disaster. But at the same time, if you're doing it too much, it then turns into anxiety or stress. I don't really know the difference between those, anxiety and stress. I think they're intertwined, aren't they? I'm not an expert on that.
I think stress can be the cause and the result, whereas anxiety quite often is the result of the stress. So stress can be used in more than one way. So the stress is the thing, or it's what you feel. Anxiety is what you feel because of stress.
I think so. You might be burdened with a lot of work. Your boss might be saying, "Oh, can you do this report? Can you do that? Can you do this?" And you feel overwhelmed with a lot of work, and you've got time pressures in which to complete it. So that can lead to you feeling stressed. Your heart rate can go up. You start getting irritable with people, and if that carries on for a long period of time, I think that can lead to anxiety. Anxiety is just, I think I'm right in defining that as just bad worry, really. Just you're worrying all the time about things.
So when your thoughts become physical, that I suppose is anxiety. So it is the actual physical response. The response in your brain is just thinking, but doing that too much then leads to physical problems. I suppose you might say that a lot of people have been using this particular sentence, a worrying time. We are living through worrying times. And I would say that I've definitely heard some people say that recently about various things. So I think it is fair to say that we are probably living through worrying times.
But it's all relative, isn't it? So I mean, in Argentina at the moment, they've got this big problem with inflation. We think we've got problems here, but that's really nothing compared to what they're suffering over there with their economy. So I can only imagine what that feels like.
It's all different levels. One person's worry is another person's carefree moment. So not everything worries everyone in the same way, and not everyone has the same stress in their lives as they normally do, or maybe it only happens now and again, and other people always seem to be suffering more. So there are people who are quite carefree. They go through life not worrying too much about things.
But of course, people like that can lead to problems, because if you don't worry about the consequences of anything, then sooner or later some accident will befall you.
Oh, yes.
So people that lead reckless lives, that aren't worried about anything, they might go bungee, they might do risky sports, things like that, and then get themselves into trouble. But the other extreme, you've got somebody that worries about anything and is too scared to leave the house. Somewhere in the middle is where we want to be, isn't it? We want to be genuinely concerned or worried about certain things, but then we need to let that go. It's very difficult because I think probably all of us have suffered from stress or anxiety due to over-worrying.
So I think it is like a meter. Imagine a meter. So that needle is moving from left to right. So you have worry, and then you have relaxation or calmness. So I think most people go from one thing to another quite often, but never too much of either, because both of those things, if you take them to the extreme level, can be harmful.
The Dimitros says, thank you for this comment. I don't worry about many things as time goes by. I think you mean as you've got older, you don't worry, because as you discover as you get older, most of the things you worry about are out of your control. So there's no point in making yourself worried, but which leads to stress and anxiety, because most of it is out of our control. And we see particularly the news, you watch the news and you start to think that, there's crime everywhere, the planet's about to burst into flame, we're all doomed. But, of course, most of these things only affect a small number of people. So the chances of them affecting us are very slim. And yet we worry about it, particularly if you watch it late at night. You watch the 10 o'clock news, then you go to bed.
Can I just give you a piece of advice? Don't watch the news. Don't watch it, especially late at night before you go to bed. So we always like to watch things that are funny, or maybe something interesting, or some sort of documentary. We've just discovered a new TV channel called what's it called again?
Wild Earth?
Wild Earth, that's it. So there is a TV channel we've just discovered called Wild Earth. It recently popped up on my TV from nowhere, and we like watching that because they have live shows from different parts of Africa, looking at all of the wonderful wildlife, and it's very interesting. So we like to do something at night before we go to bed that takes your mind away from all the stress and worry. Something funny, something interesting, something calming. So that's my advice. A person can be worrisome. It's a great word. It doesn't look real, but it is a real word. Trust me. A worrisome person worries a lot. They cause worry and annoyance, and that is true. A person who worries a lot can also be a very annoying person.
Well, that's strange, because that's exactly what Inaki says. I run away from worrisome people because it's contagious. Yes, it is. If you are always around people that worry, then you will probably start to get worried yourself. And a good point as well from Dimitros says, stop watching the news. Well, we have. If you want to know what's going on in the world, just read it in a newspaper or online, because its emotional impact on you is far less if you are just reading the words compared to if you then see it on a television where they're showing dramatic pictures and they're playing music, and that's what annoys me about the news. They have these,
and it's repeated,
over and over again.
It's like somebody punching you in the face, but instead of their fists, they are just telling you bad stuff.
Yes.
Everything's bad, everything's awful, everything's terrible, go to bed, be afraid.
But if you just read about it, say I don't know, a volcano's gone off somewhere.
Gone off? Is that what they do, is it? They go off.
And, 1,000 people have died or something. If you read about it, yes, you would be, you would see that news and it would have some impact on you, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as much as if you were to see photographs of aeroplanes flying over, smoke and flames. It's like if you read about the wildfires that are going on in various parts of the world at the moment. If you just read about it, its impact, you note that, that's going on, but if you watch it on the news, suddenly you think the whole world's going up in flames. So watching it, involving more senses, has a greater emotional impact. So if you see something, you hear it. But if you just read it, you just see it as it is.
Yes.
And it's, You can keep up with the news,
Oh,
but
yeah.
without having to watch it,
Okie dokie.
is the point I'm making.
So a person who worries a lot can be also quite annoying because they are often fussing about things, or maybe they are always in a state of worry, and maybe their fears can also become your fears as well. So I sometimes like to stay away from people who are like that. I like to be around positive people, even though these days it's very hard to find them.
By the way, it's also Pedro's birthday today.
Is it Pedro?
I believe it is.
Let's wait there a second. Pedro Belmont. Happy birthday to you.
So you share a birthday with Palmyra then, because it's Palmyra's birthday today. So two people with nothing to worry about there, unless you're getting old. And even then, you've got to accept it.
Yes.
So yeah, congratulations to you both. And it's nice to see you on here.
A lot of people seem to have their birthdays in August. And I always say the best people in the world have their birthdays in August. You're in very good company.
Claudia says she's worrying not to burn the pastry on her pie.
Yes, well, that is important. That's an important worry. You should be very, very worried about that, because no one wants their pie burnt.
Yeah, well, we hope you're not worrying at the moment, because hopefully you're enjoying watching us, and that is taking your mind off your worries.
Even though we keep talking, even though that's today's subject. To be a worrywart, a person who is a worrywart, it's a great phrase. Maybe we don't use it as much these days as we used to, but a person who is a worrywart is a person who worries a lot. So you might describe that person as a worrywart. Don't be such a worrywart.
Never heard of that. Anyway, Mr. Duncan, it was
great.
Pedro's birthday yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Not today.
So you were wrong.
Congratulations. Well, there was something about a birthday, but it...
Next
week... It looked like it was Pedro's birthday, but Palmyra said it was yesterday.
Next week we're talking about jumping to conclusions. We might use this part of the live stream.
I was just going on what I'd read on the live stream.
Yes. Well, never believe everything you read. Ooh, very nice. So a worrywart is a person who worries quite a lot. A jumpy person that is on edge. They worry about everything around them. And there are people like that. They're so worried all the time about everything. They are, I suppose one word you could use is nervous.
Yes. A nervous person is effectively somebody that's always worrying about things. What might happen? What if we go on a drive today? There might be somebody out there that might crash into us. Shall I go to that party? Well, what happens if somebody gets drunk and the violence breaks out? Something might happen to me.
What kind of parties are you going to?
But I'm just saying, people will worry about these things. And after lockdowns, of course, we were all made to worry ourselves sick about a virus that was circulating.
And it might be coming back.
Probably we were... Don't make people worried, Mr. Duncan.
No, well, everyone's talking about...
I know that. Well, I know they're talking about it, but we don't want to worry people.
Yeah, they want us to start wearing masks
again.
Well,
this is it, you see. They want to control... They want to keep us
Steve,
in a state of fear.
This is not a soapbox.
Well, it is at the moment. The politicians, the powers that be.
Which politicians?
Like all of them. They all like to keep us in a state of fear.
So every single politician is doing that.
Because when we're in a state of fear, we can be controlled.
Okay, Steve.
Because if you make somebody fearful about climate change, for example, the world's coming to an end, blah, blah, blah. They can persuade us to buy electric cars or to change our heating system to something else. It's once you've got people in a state of fear, it's easy to control them.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to be always constantly aware of all the time. Is this? Why is this? Why are they telling us about this? Why are they worrying us?
Yes, that's it. Well, quite often because they want to sell electric cars to everyone.
Yeah.
Or maybe change your mind. It's a bit like a religion, really. So religions are a type of control. And you might say that the new green agenda where everyone's talking about the climate and everything, might be another type of religion where you take things too far. It is good to be worried, but you can make people too worried and they start to panic. So a jumpy person, and there are people like that who are afraid of their own shadow even. Words connected to worry include agonize. It's a horrible word, but it seems to sum up the feeling of being really worried, to be bothered by something.
Yes, I agonised over my decision. I agonised over my decision.
That's true, though.
That means that you constantly, you want to do something like, for example, you might want to get married to somebody. Mm-hmm. And you might think, should I marry that person? You agonise over it all because on the plus side, they've got these things are very good about them, but I don't like these things about them. What shall I do? What shall I do? Or I'm agonising over my decision. And you might have a deadline. It could be over whether you leave work and take a new job.
You are tormented by it.
You might like your job, but then another job comes along which seems better, and you think, well, I don't know what to do. Shall I do it? Shan't I? My current job is good. It's safe. I've been there a long time, but I'm boring. The new job looks exciting. There's more money, but what shall I do?
Yes.
So agonise.
Sometimes making a choice can lead to you agonising.
Sometimes it might be easy.
Okay, Steve, we've got to move on. We've only got 15 minutes left. Be bothered, fret over something.
Oh, stop fretting.
Fuss.
You can say to somebody.
Lose sleep or even sweat. So you might say that a person who is worrying is sweating. Don't sweat. Don't sweat.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't worry about it.
It's a book.
Sorry?
Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is a book by somebody trying to encourage you to stop worrying and stop worrying about the things that you can't do anything about. But yes, if you fret, somebody that frets, they're just worrying all the time. Stop fretting, calm down.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Should we go out? It might rain. I want to go for a walk, but it might rain. Shall I take a coat with me or shall I take an umbrella? What do you think I should do? Shall I wear waterproof? Oh, stop fretting.
Yes,
Let's just go for a walk.
Stop doing that. To lose sleep over something. Now, this is a good one because it's very common. So this is a phrase you might hear a lot. When a person has something on their mind, they are worrying about it, they might lose sleep over something. You spend too much time worrying about one thing. You lose sleep over it at night, sometimes literally. So you can use it figuratively, but also you can literally lose sleep when you're worrying about things.
Yes, that phrase is often used when somebody says something to you. You say, at work, I think they're going to make redundancies, someone says. And they say, what do you think? And you might say, well, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Yes.
So if you say, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, what you're saying is that particular thing that's being discussed, I'm not going to worry about it. Because the implication is if it was something to worry about, you would wake up in the night and you would lose sleep. So it's a good phrase to use. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Because it might be something you can't control anyway.
I think so. So if you lose sleep, you are worried. It is causing you a lot of anxiety.
Christina says, some mums lose sleep because their teenagers, sons or daughters, go out with the wrong crowd.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They might be, they might be late back. I know my sister with her children, she used to worry. Where are her children? They're not back. Teenagers, they go out. It's 1, 2 in the morning. They haven't come back. They haven't sent a text. Where are they?
Isn't that just natural, though?
But that's natural to be worried, obviously, yes. But that is worry.
I think that is a natural worry. So
you can track your children.
Can you?
On the phone, yes, they can, apparently. You can there's something on phones that enable you agree to it, and then you can track them, see where they are. But I would imagine most teenagers wouldn't want their parents tracking them on their phones.
Oh no, I don't think anyone wants to be tracked by anyone when you think about it for a minute.
It's my first time on this channel, says somebody who's obviously Chinese.
Hello to China, a big ni hao. from Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. Very
Yes.
nice.
Nice to have you here. It's always
Yeah.
nice to have new people.
It's always nice to see new faces on the channel. We are talking about another subject in a second. We are looking at cycling. Now, this is something that's become a very controversial subject in many areas.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
well, that's why I'm saying it. In London, especially, big cities where cars and bicycles are trying to use the same area. And it is very popular now here in the UK. I don't know if it happens where you are, but there are people now who film everything that happens whilst they're riding their bicycle. And then if someone does something to them, quite often a motorist driving a car, they will record that moment, and then they will put it on the internet and show everyone. So cyclists have become, I suppose you might say that they've become a very vocal group, because there are more people now riding bicycles. I would say around here where we live, there aren't many people riding bicycles generally, because there are a lot of steep hills, the roads are narrow, and a lot of people drive crazy in their cars. So I think so. But in London,
go on. A lot of car drivers now have cameras in their cars for insurance purposes.
yes,
As well, you don't realise you might engage in some road rage incident or an accident, and somebody is recording everything. How it stands up in a court of law, I don't know, but they're there anyway.
yes. Talking of bicycles, here's a great phrase, by the way. Now, this was a phrase that was created by a member of Parliament way back in the 1980s, an MP called Norman Tebbit. And there were many people who were out of work, they were unemployed during that particular time. And he told people who were unemployed to get out and get on their bikes.
And look for work.
And look for work. So, and of course, we can use that as a phrase as well if we want to tell someone to go away on your bike. Maybe something that we are annoyed by, maybe a person that we don't like. Suddenly they do something that you don't like. You might say, on your bike, go away. So get on your bike to go out and do something. Famously created by an MP way back in the 1980s, but there was an MP, a member of Parliament, a couple of weeks ago that said the same thing, and he got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you see, people get very upset now if somebody suggests to them they're not doing enough to look for work. But of course, where that's coming from is that we know that there are lots of jobs that employers can't fill at the moment in the UK, rather than... Anyway, let's not go into that. Can you say this here, Mr. Duncan?
Xin chào, which means hello in Vietnamese. There we go, that was easy.
So we've had ni hao.
Ni hao, which is hello in Chinese, and xin chào, which is hello in Vietnamese. And of course, hello, which is hello in English. We will be saying goodbye in around about 9 minutes from now because we are going. So bicycles are everywhere in London. I did notice when I was in London a few weeks ago, I did notice that there were bicycles everywhere. There are definitely more bicycles on the road and, dare I say, fewer cars. Not taxis, because there are still lots of taxis on the roads in London, but there were definitely fewer cars driven by the average person. There were definitely fewer, but many more bicycles in London. And this is now causing a lot of problems. There is this strange resentment between motorists and cyclists. Now, I'm going to ask Steve the question. I'm sure you've been waiting for this.
No.
No, you know what I'm going to ask.
Go on.
Okay, then. You're a motorist.
Yes.
What do you think of cyclists?
Annoying.
Oh. I had to ask the question.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go out on a bike on the roads on myself because I just don't think it's safe anymore. But, you know, there is the argument that everyone has a right to their space on the road. And, of course, cyclists do. You know, they've got a right to be on the road. I just think sometimes you see, I would worry about going on the roads on my bike. I used to cycle everywhere when I was younger, but there was less traffic when I was younger. Cars were a lot smaller, and with very narrow British roads, and cars of course go a lot faster now.
Yes.
People are more impatient. I would worry about going on the road. Maybe that's because I've got older. That is something I would definitely, because I've got a bike. I've got the same bike. I've got the bike I had when I was, I think, 14, 15.
Yes.
My parents bought me this racing bike and I've still got it. And I want to restore it and go and ride, but I wouldn't go on the road on it.
No.
I would have to go somewhere off-road.
Yes.
I would worry about... I used to cycle to Wales everywhere, even when I was in my 20s.
So I think the roads have become more dangerous, especially in the countryside, where there aren't many cars, but they do tend to drive slightly recklessly at speed. And of course, if you are on a bicycle going along the road and a car wants to come past, they might try to force you over to get by. So there are many instances where cyclists have been injured and even killed.
I don't know
especially in London.
I don't know what the statistics are, whether it's gone up compared to when I was growing up, whether more people get injured, I don't know.
Yes, well, cycle deaths have increased a lot over the last 5 years.
Have they?
Yes, so they've gone up a lot because more people are riding bikes, but also they are trying to use the same road or the same piece of road as motor cars and lorries. And you know that...
I'll tell you what is annoying, is if you get stuck behind cyclists on a road where it is twisty and you have no chance to overtake, and there are two cyclists riding together in parallel.
Yes, like that.
Like that. And they're talking away to each other, you know, doing about 7 miles an hour.
So they're doing that.
There's a whole line of traffic.
They should be like that.
Behind. Now, yes, you could say...
But they're doing that.
Yes, if they'd been not together, you could have probably overtaken safely.
Single file.
But they're holding up the traffic for sometimes several miles.
Yeah.
So you are taking a big risk because somebody is going to get impatient. Maybe you should argue that they shouldn't get impatient, but they will, and then that's when accidents can happen.
I think so.
Yes, Rosa says it's hard to see motorcyclists because they suddenly appear. Well, that's it. You're not expecting to see a cyclist, are you?
Well, motorcycles go faster, so they can appear suddenly. But I think it's the same thing with bicycles as well. They can suddenly come out, and they are often criticised for breaking the rules of the road as well. So quite often a person on a bicycle will go through a red light. And I think it really does anger motorists because they have to wait. So the bicycle just breaks a lot of the rules.
The other reason I wouldn't go and ride a bike, Magdalena does every day, 5 kilometres to work and back, which is great in the rain, in the winter, all conditions, great. I don't know what sort of traffic conditions you're riding through, but I used to cycle to work when I worked in Wolverhampton. I lived on one side of Wolverhampton and my place of work was the other, probably about 4 miles, and I used to cycle that every day. In the end, I stopped doing it, not because I felt unsafe, but because the fumes that I was breathing in, the traffic fumes.
Very good, yes, good point.
And I thought this is going to, even though it's supposed to be good for you to cycle, to be fit and healthy, breathing in those fumes must counter that. I would have probably, it ends up being worse for you, I don't know.
No, I think that's a good point to make, actually, because, this is what's happening in London, where they're trying to discourage motorists from driving on the roads at all. or only when necessary because they're being charged. I think it's £12. So imagine that if you wanted to get into your car and drive down the road, a camera will take a photograph of your car and the number on the front, and then you will be charged £12. So imagine if you have to go in and out from your house maybe 3 or 4 times.
This is if you've got a car that is an older car.
That's it.
That doesn't meet the pollution standards.
So this is happening quite often in London, and now it is being extended. But of course, for cyclists, that is a good thing because it means you can ride on the roads more freely and much safer. So I think it's an interesting subject and one we might cover again in the future. And the reason why I mention that is because a few days ago we were riding a bicycle around Wales and we had a great deal of fun.
By the way, Patrick, one of our regulars, Patrick Malvac from Usse in France, is currently biking through an area of France.
Oh.
He's on holidays, on a biking holiday.
Now I have to say, if you want to ride a bike, one of the best places to do it is France. It's true.
Yeah, because, well, France has got the similar population to the UK, but it's about 2 or 3 times as big geographically, so there's less traffic.
So the less dense.
In the country.
Yes, it's great.
And probably less cars, so it's probably much safer to drive in France than it is in the UK. It's quite dangerous. I wouldn't recommend cycling on the roads in the UK.
No, definitely not.
Unless you can take all the back roads.
Yes. And even then it's not really safe. Anyway, Steve, guess what? We have come to the end of today's live stream.
How wonderful.
But is it?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried now, Mr. Duncan, that people will think that we're not staying on long enough.
Well, if you want us to stay on for another hour, we can.
Well, not another hour.
Well, that's it then.
Then I'm worried that I will get tired if we stay here too long.
This is it. Yes, you see, Mr. Steve always worries about things. We will be back next Sunday. And of course, next week it's September. September will be here next week,
yes.
The 3rd of September, next Sunday. And everything will be feeling late summerish. Oh,
autumn on the way.
Autumn is coming. And can I just say now, please don't mention Christmas yet, because I know someone is going to. I know someone in the media or on television or in the newspapers or an advertisement, someone is going to mention Christmas. It's too early. Do not mention Christmas, even though September is just around the corner. That's it for today. Happy birthday, Palmyra. Happy birthday for the 20th to Pedro. And thank you very much to you all for watching. And we will be back soon. Don't forget, new lessons coming during the week. There is an actual list, a playlist I'm going to show you very quickly on the screen. So there is a playlist that is under this video underneath, and it has all of my short video lessons. See you soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a super duper time.
And don't worry, because we'll be back next week and Mr. Duncan will have his short lessons out this week, so you've got something to look forward to.
There's always something to look forward to. Don't sweat the small stuff. On behalf of, well, England, this is Mr. Duncan and
Mr. Steve
saying thanks for watching. See you next week, 2 p.m. UK time. It's great to be back with you live. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh, show your thing. Look, there they are. For those wondering, yes, it is official. Ta-ta for now.